Spider-Man might be the most loved superhero of all time, but he's also the most argued about. People will literally go to war over which Peter Parker is the GOAT. You've got Sam Raimi fans who treat Tobey Maguire like he's a holy scripture. The Andrew Garfield defenders who will die on the hill that he deserved the third movie. And the Tom Holland fans who are like, bro, he fought Thanos, case closed. So today we're counting down the top 5 Spider-Man hot takes that might have some fans mad, nod their head in agreement, or others just rage in the comments. This is my first YouTube video, so please like and subscribe if you want more. Let's kick this off with a spicy one. Sure, we got an emo Peter Parker strutting through the streets like he's auditioning for a Fall Out Boy cover band, but outside of that, the action was solid, Sandman was sympathetic, and the black suit storyline had potential. But if this movie came out today, people would call it messy but fun. Kind of like Venom. It's not a masterpiece, but it's not the dumpster fire people act like it is. First off, Flint Marko. He wasn't just some generic villain of the week. The dude had depth, a tragic backstory, a daughter he wanted to save, and honestly, some of the most visually impressive CGI from the 2000s. That birth of Sandman scene, it's still beautiful today. Say what you want about the writing, but the action sequences went hard. The black suit alley fight with Harry, brutal. The crane sequence with Gwen, legit tense. And that final team up, Spider-Man and the new Goblin fighting side by side. And we all can't forget that scene. The infamous strut, the finger guns, the random jazz club meltdown. Yeah, it's cringe, but let's be real. It's also iconic. Everyone remembers it. People meme it, recreate it, and ironically, it perfectly fits Raimi's weird, campy style. If anything, it gives us the most memorable pop culture moments of the entire trilogy. It's flawed, sure. It tried to do too much. Venom, Sandman, Harry, Gwen, MJ drama, but underneath the chaos, there is still a good Spider-Man movie trying to swing through. So yeah, I'm saying it. Spider-Man 3 deserves reappraisal. Maybe not top tier, but definitely not the disaster people pretend it is. Say what you want about the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but Andrew Garfield was done dirty. The dude had amazing chemistry with Emma Stone, he really sold the emotional side of Peter Parker, and his version of Spidey had the best quips. The problem? He only got 2 movies, and instead of a proper third, Sony tried to set up a Sinister Six spin-off that never happened. Now some people argue Andrew was too cool to play Peter Parker. Like, oh no, he's a skater kid with good hair and confidence, cancel him, but honestly, that's missing the point. His version of Peter wasn't about being a total outcast, it was about being socially awkward in his own way. As in Spider-Man, he nailed the wit, the banter, the quips, his Spidey felt alive. Let's not pretend like we don't know why those movies hit emotionally. Andrew and Emma Stone had an insane chemistry. Their relationship felt natural, charming, and heartbreaking. The clock tower scene in TASM 2? Yeah, we all cried. Even people who hate those movies admit that moment destroyed them. So yeah, Andrew Garfield deserved more than 2 films and a broken studio roadmap. He deserved a trilogy, a real arc, and a chance to show us what his Spider-Man could become. Instead, he got cut short. And honestly, seeing the fan love he got in No Way Home makes me think if Sony ever wanted to pull the trigger on Amazing Spider-Man 3, people would show up in droves. Now, in my personal opinion, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit is still the best suit we've ever seen in live action. So before the MCU fans start spamming in the comments with nanotech gifs, hear me out. The Raimi suit, the one Tobey Maguire wore, is iconic, period. First off, let's talk design. The ray silver webbing, the deep red and blue colours, the sharp, bold Spider-Man logo across the chest, and those eyes, slightly menacing but still comic accurate. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't overloaded with gadgets, it was just Spider-Man. Here's why it holds up. It was a practical suit, you can literally feel the texture, the weight, the realism. Compare that to Tom Holland's suit, which half the time looks like they were rendered on a PlayStation 5 cutscene. When Tobey was swinging through the city, you saw fabric. When Tom is swinging, sometimes it looks like Fortnite. Don't get me wrong, the MCU suits have their moments, The Iron Spider suit, cool in concept, sure, but at some point, Peter Parker turned into Tony Stark's sidekick instead of a scrappy kid from Queens. Raimi's suit reminds us who Spider-Man is supposed to be, a regular guy sewing his own costume, taking punches and still getting back up. And let's be real, when most people picture Spider-Man in their heads, they're picturing Tobey's suit. The posters, the toys, the Halloween costumes, it's everywhere. It's one of those designs that feels so definitive that even if Marvel redesigned Spidey 100 more times, nothing would top it. So call it nostalgia, call it bias, but in my book, Raimi's Spider-Man suit is still the best and probably always will be. I think Venom should have been saved for another movie and not shoved into Spider-Man 3. Here's the thing, Venom is one of Spider-Man's most iconic villains. In the comic, he is terrifying, he is personal, he's the dark reflection of Peter Parker himself. But in Spider-Man 3, he got treated like an afterthought. Look, no shade to Topher Grace, he's a great actor in the right role, but casting him as Eddie Brock, the man was supposed to be a hulking, imitating rival to Peter. Instead, we got Eric from that 70s show with sharp teeth. Not exactly nightmare fuel. Fun fact, Raimi originally planned Spider-Man 3 just to be about Sandman and Harry, but the studio forced Venom into the movie because he was popular with fans, and now it shows Raimi clearly didn't care about the character the same way he did for Doc Ock or Green Goblin, which is why Venom looked like, well, a discount Halloween Venom. The saddest part, Venom is so much cooler than what we got. Just look at how fans reacted when Tom Hardy's Venom movie came out. Even though those films are messy, people still love the character. He's funny, he's scary, he's got presence. That's what Venom should have been in Spider-Man 3. So basically Venom deserved better. He deserved to headline his own movie against Tobey and not to get squeezed into an already overcrowded script. Instead, we got a Venom that looked like he forgot leg day and he lasted all of 20 minutes on the screen. For years, fans have joked about a Spider-Verse in live action. Tobey, Andrew, Tom, all teaming up, and we thought it would never happen. Then, out of nowhere, Sony and Marvel actually pulled it off. The moment Andrew stepped through that portal, theatres went feral, and then Tobey followed, people lost their minds. And it wasn't just the Spideys. Seeing Alfred Molina back as Doc Ock, Willem Dafoe back as Green Goblin, even Jamie Foxx getting a second chance as Electro. It felt like a celebration of Spider-Man history, Dafoe in particular. He stole the movie, dude came back 20 years later and was scarier than ever. And here's the kicker, movies like this don't come around often. Think about it, when's the next time we'll get something that unites 3 generations of movie fans in one theatre? Kids who grew up with Tom, teens who loved Andrew, and adults who saw Tobey back in 2002, all screaming together. That's once in a lifetime cinema. No Way Home was truly a fan service, but it was a good kind of fan service. The kind that doesn't just make you clap in the theatre, it makes you feel something. And honestly, I'll take that any day. And finally, number 1, the hottest of hot takes, the hill I will happily die on. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy is still the best overall Spider-Man saga. Yeah, I said it, and here's why. Sam Raimi understood the core of Spider-Man better than anyone. These movies weren't about being flashy or setting up spin-offs. They were about Peter Parker, his struggles with money, balancing school and love, trying to do all the right things even when it's destroyed his personal life. Raimi's Peter wasn't an Avenger, he wasn't hanging out with Tony Stark, he was just a broke kid from Queens trying to make rent, and that's what Spider-Man is supposed to be. Green Goblin, Doc Ock, even Sandman, Raimi gave us villains who weren't just evil for the sake of being evil. They were layered, tragic, and connected to Peter's life in meaningful ways. And Willem Dafoe, still the gold standard for comic book villain performances. Let's talk scenes. The upside down kiss, the train fight in Spider-Man 2, Aunt May's I believe there's a hero in all of us, Harry's redemption, these just aren't superhero moments, they're history. People still reference them 20 years later. Was it campy at times? Absolutely, but that's what made it great. Raimi blended superhero drama with pulpy comic book energy. It had heart, it had humour, it had enough weirdness like horror-inspired shots, and yes, Bully Maguire. It felt unique. Not every movie has to look and sound like the MCU. And here's the bottom line. Without Raimi's trilogy, the superhero genre as we know it wouldn't exist. Spider-Man 2002 showed Hollywood that superhero films could be massive, emotional, and actually respected. It paved the way for the MCU, for Dark Knight, for all of it. Without Raimi, none of this exists. And that's why, for all the Spideys we've ever gotten, and all the Spideys still to come, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man will always be the blueprint. So if you made it this far, subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you next time.